Welcome to the Daily B with Matty B, episode 30. We're at Garry Little in the house today. Holy crap balls. So I met Garry only, it was only about a few months ago really, when we did the Chris Duncan's Amplify course together. Again, shout out to Chris and Harriet who are doing some amazing work, helping coaches, healers, all sorts of people in business basically grow their businesses through live presentations. Yeah, they've been absolutely phenomenal. So I met Garry through that course, and just hearing his story and hearing what he's actually doing to help people just completely eliminate their body pains, their back pains, through natural means and using the power of the mind it's just fucking awesome. It's great to see people doing this type of work out there. All right, I'm just going to get him on, send him this invite. Hope everyone's having an awesome morning. Let me know what you guys are up to. Jade Van Putten, Andrew Rose, good to see you guys. How are we? Now, let me know if the music, the kids, or the workers are too noisy. I can piss off somewhere else. But this has just been my little place to chill lately out here, down near by the pool. It's actually a bit overcast today up here on the Gold Coast, which is a little bit disappointing. Exactly the reason we come up here is for all that sunshine. Yeah, episode 30 today. Holy moly. So this has gone really, really quickly. I can't believe that I'm doing episode 30 already. Happy Monday, JD. Happy Monday, everyone. I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like. I like Mondays. I don't know why people don't like Mondays. Actually, I do know why people don't like Mondays, because they work in fucking shit jobs that they don't like. It serves them no purpose other than to pay for their food, which is completely uninspiring, passionless and purposeless. So if you want to get out of that fucking situation, give me a call, because that's fucked and I don't remember what that's like. And it's not even about the job, it's about what's up in here. But Mondays are beautiful. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Monday. Garry is not yet with us. Where are you, Garry? Let me have a look here. I'm going to give him a quick message. Here we go. Christopher, how are you, buddy? I'm going to send old mate Garry a message. So I think he might have missed the invite. That's all good. It's all good. Get him on there again. So what have you guys been up to for the weekend? Anything exciting? Anything new? What did I get up to? I went to... I just hung out here, actually. I didn't really do much over the weekend. Caught up with some new people. I've got a guest coming on Wednesday, which is pretty exciting. So she's going to be, she's extreme sports person for a while there, and went through a few, some pretty epic experiences traveling the world, snowboarding around. Here we go. Garry, let's get him on. There we go. Comes. Yeah, and got some other really exciting guests. Got another back-to-back Daily B show. So tomorrow, decline. Oh, Garry, give that another go, mate. Right. See if you accept that, buddy. Aidan Miller, how are you, buddy? Good to see you, bro. Jump on. Hey, guys. Leah, everybody else. So, Garry, make sure that your phone is horizontal. Make sure that your settings is clicked on if you've got an iPhone, so that your phone can twist as well. I know that's something that sometimes stops. And hey, Bryson boy. Hey, excuse me, lads. Shut the fuck up, please. And morning, Chrissy. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. Just make sure your phone can turn sideways, bro. There was something else that we did. Hey.
Hello, Matt. How are you?
There we go. Hello.
There we go.
Who's the baby? Who's the baby in the background?
That's Jocelyn. She was my client's wife.
Sure.
So she was just.
She was?
Here. Yeah, she still is. She still is.
Oh, still is. Okay.
So,
what's going on here, Garry?
What's going on here? So good to chat to you, Matt.
Yeah, bro. Good to chat to you too. And I do need to apologise. I did put on our episode was going to be at 7 this morning, and I completely slept in like a legend. So that was clearly, everyone that needed to see this episode and be with you today wasn't awake either, and needed us to wait a little bit longer so we could get on at 9 o'clock for them.
That's fine. It's great to we had a chat yesterday, and it was the day before yesterday, and we're talking about some stuff, and it was great to catch up with you.
Oh man, it really is that you can never make sense of where you're going to meet people, how things are going to come together, and it's not like we're dating, right? But people stress about finding the one that's right for them, and they try and rationalize. They try and join all the dots up to where they're trying to find these people and the ones to fulfill them. But man, I mean, every day I meet new people. I know you are as well. And testament to us doing that course together only a few months ago, just bringing together a couple of legends. So, yeah, let people know who you are,
right? Two crazy people.
Two crazy motherfuckers.
Naughty ones in the class. So
that's it.
So basically, I run a company, Pain Free. That's me, and been in the industry dealing with physical pain over the last 30 years now. I started when I was 10. So
you're only 27 now.
Exactly. So in that process, I have worked with I'm an author, and I travel with professional athletes, high-profile athletes, and help them get out there where other people have got didn't get the results, and got athletes out there that were going to pull them out, and they won $2.5 million and the next day. And so I'm very, very passionate about physical pain, getting people out of physical pain, and also teaching the emotional component of the root cause of majority of physical pain. So that's what I do.
Yeah. And so with that as well, can you explain a little bit about what that means? Because obviously a lot of people go into their chiros, their physios, to their specialists, to everything that has a white lab coat on, and is doing stuff by the book.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you differ? Why are you so different? What are you doing differently to these guys that's making such an impact?
What that's a big question, and kind of simple, but it's a massive question. One of the things that I've been trained in the industry, and I've turned my back against all my training, and even though I got great results, and I realized working at the level I have, I was treating a symptom. And for those people that have back pain, neck pain, and x-ray scans, and all the stories around buying into a pain name tag, my question is to you is what is causing that? Majority of people haven't had a blow to the body, just woke up, picked up a piece of paper off the floor, and they have a disc problem, whatever. But one of the things that the industry here in Australia is costing $35 billion, more than cancer, diabetes, and heart disease combined. We have a massive epidemic, and there's something needs to happen. Otherwise, the healthcare industry is going to go broke. And so the reason why I left as a practitioner and turned my back against the industry, I realized...
You chiro?
Now I'm a physical therapist, massage, Pilates. I've studied sports medicine and done all that kind of stuff. I'm a holistic counselor. And so I realized that I do not treat anyone now. I teach people, and I have better results in teaching people to empower themselves. The root cause of majority of ongoing physical pain, I'm not, other than hit by a truck or a hammer, blow to the body, I'm not talking about that kind of pain. But there's so much pain out there that comes and goes. My question is, why does it come and go? And it's contraction into the muscle tissue that is set up by our suppressed emotions. And I talk about our emotional constipation, that we don't digest our emotions. We're not real to how we feel. And especially, I just did a video on Christmas coming up, and we all hide and we do things that we don't want to do, and we put the mask on. So that's basically why it's great chatting to you and Matt, and connecting.
Yeah, it is that emotional constipation. I just wanted to say it again because it's a funny word, but also because I can relate to it as well, and I think most people can. In that, and especially like Christmas time and happy seasons, a lot of people have their birthdays and they're like, oh, I'm not a birthday person, but really that's just that emotional constipation, that people don't want to allow themselves to feel happy. Other people around them are happy, and it's just shining a light on how fucked our emotions are, and the stuff that we haven't dealt with really is there. So can you share then, Garry, your understanding and the relationship between the mind and the body?
One of the things that being in the industry, and there's a lot of information out there, and you're doing some great work, and I first come across years and years ago. I think we've all come across Louise Hay, and one of the things that I believe and what I teach, the reason why we get so lost, and there's a lot of people saying that, yeah, mind and body, and I understand where you're coming from, and I really get it. And they've still got the symptom, and they're still searching. And we talked about the other day that there's so much information out there on Dr. Google and programs, and we get lost. And pain and injuries going through the roof, mental illness is going through the roof. Why is this happening? And one of the things that what pattern that I see is we're not taking responsibility. We're looking outside of ourselves to find that insight and to fix us. And one of the things that I could write what I believe, and on a postage stamp of what we the biggest issues that we need to look at. We have everything inside us to override a lot of the disharmony in our emotional and physical life. And yet we have so much out there, and this is created from media and clever marketing, and we buy into this. We need something outside of us. Once we identify how we digest our emotions and the way we look at our emotions and the way we look at the outside world. And one thing that I always teach is people believe we live in a stressful world, and I ask people, do you believe stress is good for you? And everyone says, guess what they say? It is bad for you. It's good for you. Without stress, we die. And I always talk about when we go to the gym, we go and pay money. We get trained on how to put our body, physical body, under load. And we all know that's true health. But when we go into the emotional gym, and we're about to face a challenge, just like a bench press that builds muscle. Oh no, I don't want that shit. I don't want to. It's just that's bad. Publicity and media are telling us to get away from stress. That's the reason why we're sick. Is because stress is there for only one thing: is to make us stronger and more developed of our emotional life, just like our physical life.
There's a gentleman who won Nobel Prize. I forget the name of him at the moment, but I'm pretty sure it was over in the 90s, where he won the prize for essentially discovering the perturbation of the mind. And that's essentially that, where when we're doing a Sudoku puzzle, or we're stressing our mind, and it literally can physically hurt us sometimes and give us a headache. But when we're in that state of stress or perturbation, it's our cells in our brain that are vibrating at such a high frequency. What we usually do is we get ourselves out of that. We go for a walk, we have a cup of coffee, we do something to get back to our comfort zone. But yet it's when we stay in that state of stress that it vibrates at such a high frequency that it pops and multiplies. And that's when our mentality grows. It's when our IQ increases, and it's when we have that pop, like those aha moments.
Yeah.
And I had I was chatting to my mum, but I'll chuck my stepdad under the bus here, because he's all like judging what I'm doing and thinking that I'm not doing fuck all and not working hard, because he's a mechanic, right? So he's all about manual labor. If your body's not hurting at the end of the day, you haven't worked hard. And I'm like, all right, mate, well, let's sit down. I'll work with you on your emotions, and then you can work with me in the field, and whoever cries first loses. Let's see how we go.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, absolutely. It is. Stress is full on, yeah.
Absolutely, and like just looking at it is absolutely crazy that we have all this technology, and yet we've got more name tags and more pain, more suicidal, especially coming into Christmas. We are so lonely, and yet we're trying to fix ourselves through other people and the external world. Let me tell you, it doesn't work. And I say to people, and even for myself, with my stand on Christmas, I want to be with people that I'm saying no to people, and they may, because we need to be real. And if we don't want to be around people, say that I choose not to come. I'm tied up. And because then we get into we're not true to ourselves, and how can we have true harmony within our own physical body when we are denying ourselves, and then we try and put on the mask. That's when relationships break down and our physical body break down.
So one of the conversations I've been having a lot lately is just that, a lot of people are living their lives based on pleasing other people, based on the judgments that they feel like they're receiving from other people. And then when they do finally step out from behind that curtain and express themselves openly and truly, the next sort of hurdle for them is coming to terms that sometimes their decisions are going to offend people, and they are going to hurt people, and they are going to challenge people. And they find that really, really hard to deal with. Can you sort of share your experience helping people through those processes?
Yeah, so I think getting back to the real cause of really what we really want in life, and we go through life and we want to make everyone happy, and yet we are not happy. We're not true to ourselves. People in relationships are not true to themselves. And because they've come into an environment when they're broken and they're not fulfilled within themselves, I teach people that if we are not true to ourselves, we're not hurting anyone. And sometimes I had some stuff with my family only weeks ago. If we get ourselves right, we're not hurting anyone, because we don't get caught into the conflict. And I was amazed that understanding, and I'm working through as much as what our clients work through. Once you get to a stage where you fully understand, you cannot change anyone, absolutely anyone. But there's one person you can change. That's only it. And so when we're blaming other people, we're dropping back into, I want to change that person. And
Yeah.
so when we really stick to that, when we change ourselves and clean up our own internal environment, you will see within days the external and people that we love will treat you different. And so when we change within ourselves and take responsibility, getting out of the blame game and the guilt, we just take responsibility, because no one can hurt us unless we accept it, and we could just realize the people outside of us, they can say some nasty things and hurt us. But when we understand that we can't change them, and they're doing what they've done in their environment, and so once we identify that I can't change them, and I choose not to accept what they shared, and it's building yourself, and then you don't get into that conflict. And the flip side on that, you're helping them in secondary, because you're not caught into the conflict, if that makes sense.
100%. It makes sense to me. I'm trusting it makes sense for everyone else as well. I think to go, just to add on to that as well, I find now that when people come at me with judgment, I'm really truly meeting them with like love and compassion, in the sense that I know that it's got nothing to do with me. Whatever it is that I'm bringing up in them is just showing them an aspect of themselves that they haven't owned, or that they're scared of, or that they're not comfortable with. And so that judgment is a cry for help, and it's generally, if they're putting the effort into directing that back towards me, and I've triggered them enough to put in that effort, they're actually wanting to. There's actually something that they're wanting to change, they're wanting to implement, or there's something that they're wanting to better about themselves. because judgment is they're judging. A judgment is a judgment on oneself. It's never about the person you're judging. So if someone's judging you, they're judging themselves in that harsh way. And so, yeah, I feel for them, and I do what I can
Yeah.
to support them.
Absolutely. When people lash out at us, and we have it through our life, and some people have it now, when we get ourselves right, and I talk about the Velcro relationships, and I see this a lot when you get in a conflict and you get intertwined with that, and I talk about when we're aware of this, it only takes one person to turn sides, and so that's when you don't get stuck. And so it's up to us to make a turn, make awareness of the conflict. And one thing that I'm very excited in my own journey of my life is that every single conflict in my life has been a gift. And I shared this when I did a presentation in Sydney the other day, that I got a phone call from my dad only about 2 weeks ago. And it was one of those calls you didn't want to take, but I was aware of this, and it wasn't such a shock to me. He said, "I got some bad news. He's got 5 cancers, aggressive cancers, his liver and his kidney, and so because of what I teach about this, I'm thinking it rocked me, and I realized that okay, what's the gift out of this? And like you just think, well, at this stage, Dad's days are numbered, and so just from this process, it made me and made him and I get closer, and we're having the best relationship, and so it doesn't matter what challenge we have, if we look enough and sleep on it, maybe sleep on it for a couple of days, maybe a week, because when we set the sail of where we want to go, we find it. And a lot of times people look at the challenges, they're purely there to make us grow, just like when we go to a gym and lift the weight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's phenomenal, isn't it? It's a really big, it's from what we're brought up to believe, the way we're taught as youngsters, and the way that our society works anyway. I know there's a lot of different cultures out there, but it is completely against the grain and against the status quo to look at challenges in that way and to define obstacles in that way. It does go against your natural inclination to be woe me and blame everything for fucking up your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that there'd be people out there maybe with physical pain, and sometimes this is what I teach, is how does emotion cause physical pain? Some people may be thinking, I've got a disc problem, I've got a cartilage problem, I've got RSI, I've got whatever. And this was a big challenge for me, how emotion set all that up. So every disc problem that we have, it is caused by a crushing effect across 2 joints. And the crushing effect is the muscles across that joint. When they're under contraction, because of this emotional contraction, we see a lot of digestive problems, and we contract. And so our muscle tissue goes into involuntary contraction in somewhere in our body. And every bit of pain, we can look at the muscles are causing the origin of this. And so when we put the muscle under load, it's shorter. That's when we have a crushing effect, and that's the reason why we have disc problems. There's a reason why we have bones in the spine that break. Our muscles are shorter because of the undissolved emotions and the things, and the anger and the shame and the guilt and not happy. So I just wanted to share that with you. And pain comes and goes. Why does it come and go? totally because it's energy and emotions moving through your body. And I hope just wanted to share that with you, is because dealing with pain and spoken at university level and around the world about this subject, we all
Absolutely.
have this belief of why we have pain, and majority of it is incorrect. It's only we're
Yeah.
focusing on a symptom and we're not looking outside how our emotions have set that up.
And you find that from the people that you've worked with and from your experience, that is the root cause of this pain. And it's like pulling out a weed right from the root. If you're just going to chop the head
Absolutely.
off it, it's going to grow back twice as strong. But
Absolutely, because our physical body is our subconscious mind, and and this is one of the things. There's a lot of people out there saying, "Yeah, I believe you," but the thing is, we need to understand, because we're so connected and marketed it. Everyone's telling us your pain is because of this, or your
yeah,
pain is the name tag. Well, what is
posturepedic
called?
pillow for your pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Pillows. Oh, it's your posture. It's the way you sit. And a lot of people would believe that the way you sit and it's your posture. Well, I suggest, if you believe that, you show me one research paper. Pain is caused by the way you sit. That is completely incorrect. I'm not saying when we sit in front of a computer we get pain, but sitting incorrectly is not the cause of pain.
Yeah.
And all these kind of things we buy into, and we think we're broken, and we feel like we're in a scrap heap.
Yeah. One of the things Joe
So,
Dispenza said, which I sort of made me think, was that when you get a scratch on your arm, like, you believe that's just going to heal itself, and so it just heals itself. It's like,
yes,
well, why wouldn't the rest of your body have the ability to heal itself? I'm like, that's a
absolutely.
fucking good, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it is.
yeah.
You don't think that when it's got something on the inside that seems to be malfunctioning, straight away we're like, oh, we got to get something to fix it up.
Yeah.
It's got to be fixed. Like, get a medicine or get a doctor or get a something, get a chiro, physio, get someone to fix this thing. It's like, hold on a minute.
And being in the industry, and I've had to really challenge what I say, and
Yeah,
let me tell you that no physical therapist, and I am one, and I've gone right through the industry at the top level of sport, there is no physical therapist can fix your pain. They can take the symptom away. And if anyone challenges on what I say, go and ask any of your therapists, your physical therapist, and keep asking three questions. Why do I have my pain? Oh, you got a
yeah,
disc problem. Well, oh, it's the way you sit. Well, why does that? Why does that affect my pain? Because there's other people out there sitting and doing the same as what I'm doing. Why they have
yeah,
pain? The third question will bring them undone. Is why is that? Whatever they tell you, ask three
yeah,
whys, and I'll guarantee you'll be totally empowered, and you'll realize I'm here paying money to treat a symptom. We have every power within ourselves to change our emotional state and digest our emotions and clean up
yeah.
our emotional constipation, and you'll discover majority of serious pain. I've had clients that have had pain for 25 years, two major back operations, four hip replacements, completely pain-free right now, and off 25 years of addicted morphine painkillers, completely pain-free.
It's crazy.
It is
How
crazy.
long do you find you're working with people before they get to that point?
Some people, one of the things that what I do is taking people is empower people, break the chain of preconceived ideas of they think they're broken, and because they're looking at the physical side. So I'll start from a physical side, and I force blood through certain muscles that's causing the stress pattern. Generally, within minutes in my program, people are pain free. And I show that to show what's really causing the physical problem. Then we take them on a journey to feel at their own physical pain and feeling the stress patterns, tools and techniques to drop their own pain, and then we feed them into what's really causing the problem is the emotional side. And some people notice the difference within hours, some depending on how fast and what they want to do. And yeah, I've had some amazing results. And I do this purely teaching, and I do not touch any client. I empower them.
I'd imagine it would be really dictated by how open and willing they are to go down and reach into those emotional pain points of what caused it.
Yeah.
And that would be the main thing that would dictate the speed at which they would sort of get to that pain-free state.
Yeah, Matt, I think because when they come through the program, they're in a day's workshop and they get really grounded and they get a lot of leverage that they know their emotions have caused their physical pain. That's the whole aspect of the physical side, and making that bridge. And when they leave that the day's workshop to go into the 30-day program, they are ready and opened and no preconceived ideas, and generally they'll drop their pain and changing. I had actually Jocelyn's husband came to me, who's here with me, and he had pain for 10 years. No one could find out what his problem was, and he went through my program, and he's basically been pain-free spasmodically, and he fully understands what's causing his pain. And off majority of his medication, he brought it out in front of a presentation I did. People are shocked about the medication he was on, and our emotional state, our emotional constipation causes pain. Then we drug ourselves up. Then we spend a lot of money. We're a vicious circle on increasing our emotional stresses, and we can't get out of it. But we can if we understand the full picture.
It's full on. It's scary that that's how majority of people are living.
Majority of people
this isn't being taught.
Yeah, and Matt, you don't know me that well. My mission is to empower people and change the perception of pain and injury worldwide. It's like people that are listening to this, and every time I do speak, you're not broken as what you think you are because of someone that's done a course that supposedly works with this and that. If they tell you you're broken, you're not genuinely broken. You're not as broken as what you think you are. And this is the reason why I left being a practitioner, because I realize, even though I got great results with professional athletes, I'm part of the problem. I realize part of the problem because people come and pay me money, and big money, when I was in the UK, because they're exchanging money, they think I'm going to fix them. That's the very fact that I left the industry, because unknowingly we create these stress patterns in our body and we've got no idea, and they're built up over years, and we keep feeding that with suppressed and undigested emotions. Then it just keeps cranking up and just crushing and causing decrease in blood supply and energy, and impingements on nerves, and major impacts onto the joints, and we have pain. Common sense is not real common out there.
It's very uncommon. Yeah, full on.
And the things that we bought into, I was one of my part of my training was a Pilates instructor, and all the crazy things we get caught on to, and especially me as a practitioner, and always wanted to. I used to teach stretching. I used to teach core stability. I used to teach everything, exercise therapy, and I used to. This is the reason why you got your back pain, because your muscles are weak. Well, I didn't think back then. Why is the muscle weak? No one could tell me. And when I used to do stretching as a Pilates instructor, I didn't think about why is the muscle contracted. And we do core stability. Core stability is not the cause of back pain. That's a big one out there. It's causing more, like, you wouldn't have heard of this. If people go to a Pilates instructor, let me tell you, they'll be giving you core stability for back pain. Let me tell you, core stability can increase back pain. That's a
Okay.
fact. The
True.
question is why, and that's what I explained to. And people out there with pain, if you're doing something or some kind of therapy, just look at the people with no pain. Are they doing what you're doing? No. No. We need to ask some basic questions, and as soon as you get it, you'll be thinking, why didn't I think of that? We're
Yeah, true.
so bombarded with science, and yet they can't even tell you why a muscle's tight, can't even tell you why a muscle's weak. So that's why I'm passionate about getting on and have a chat with yourself, Matt, and you're doing great work.
Absolutely.
And but the one thing that I'm passionate about, we get lost in putting our toes into our emotional life. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, our emotional life and how we digest our emotions and how we look to the outside world is far greater than anything that we can do physical.
Yeah. It's phenomenal. It really is. And it's such a scary journey to take, is that inward dive, holding up that mirror. And there's literally, that's the 1%, as far as I see it, is there's so many people thinking that they're doing the work, and they're still just changing the curtains of their metaphorical lives and not actually looking at the structural foundation of what's going on.
Yeah,
It is scary.
absolutely. And like scary, my journey, and clients would say it is the most exciting ever thing that we have. And the reason why, and as a counselor, the reason why we think it's scary is because I don't want to go and dig all this stuff because it's pain. And when we go into what I teach is when we understand why we're going places, we get empowered. And the more I go on my own journey and the more I teach people, the more the simpler things become. I could write how to play the game of life on a postage stamp. It's just we get confused and we get lost and we think like in this subject, physical pain is so complicated. I've had people read my book and they say you're a genius on how to make things so simple. Outside world has made it simple, so complex, because everyone's got all these things to get override our pain, and yet none of them was working. So because of that, we think pain is very complicated. It is so darn simple that we've overlooked it. And you don't have to have a university degree or a diploma. Common sense is what we're lacking.
Yeah, full on.
So, yeah. So, I
I
could
love it.
go on and on and on and on. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just blows my mind just how the more, I guess, I hear from people like yourself, the more I'm learning, it is just getting back to basics and making things so much more simpler than what they have been. People are a sucker for a lab coat and a statistic. And as soon as you chuck a lab coat and a statistic in the mix, people will bend over backwards and do whatever they get told to do and pay for the privilege of doing that as well. Without, like I said, without asking questions, without
yeah.
putting themselves out there and inquiring as to why things are being done the way they're done.
Yeah, like in the big scheme of things, Matt, this is keeping us each and every one small.
Yeah,
And one of the things and it pulls us off for what we're really put here to do. Every single person on the planet with a heartbeat has got a thumbprint. We have something to deliver to the world. And once we discover our true gift, the world will be a better place. But the fact is, we think we're broken. We think we can't do things. And each and every one that's listening to this, you're bigger and more capable of something huge, each and every one of us. And so once we clean up and break ties with the preconceived limiting beliefs on the outside world is changed by our inner world. not the other way around. The whole society is driven. If we kick our toe, we go to a toe doctor. And I'm a counselor. We go to all these people that, I need to sit down and listen to this person and just put some stuff back to them. Everything that we're doing, we need help. No, we don't. Everyone has got the gift. All we need to do is understand what is really happening and how things function. Know the rules of how to play life, because then go out there and play life big. Because a majority of us, and I'm just getting on the field, majority of us are still in the darn dressing room, getting patched up and think we're not good enough to go and live life. And this is where the consequences of relationships and the whole domino effect of that.
And that's exactly why I've got you. Yeah, you go. So
I never told people, I never said that before, get out of the dressing sheds, get on the field and play the game of life full out, because everyone can do better than what we are doing today.
Yeah, and that's why I've got yourself and all these amazing guests coming on to teach people just that, to be themselves daily, be themselves, believe in themselves, express themselves, and evolve consciously every single day more and more, because it really is just people holding themselves back and playing that small game and basing their life based on societal conditions or their family's conditions or anything other than themselves. And it's creating all this pain, emotional, physical pain, and they're not sharing their gift with the world, which is just basically themselves being themselves every single day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, buddy. And I hope that I've got to jump off, and I don't know, but I hope that was a help for your listeners. And
Where can people find you, Garry?
Pain Free, that's me. Actually, Facebook, Pain Free. We're on Facebook. Pain Free, that's me. And drop us a line. And I've got a book there to be able to get people changing this whole concept. And Matt, I want to sing this from the hills of the planet, because I just spent some time in the US, and people ask me what I do, and just in coffee shops and just publicly. And I'm a pain specialist, and I asked them, I says, has many people got pain? And nearly every single person, they looked at me crazy. They say, has everyone got pain? Everyone's got pain, and they've had major operations. And when you look at the stats of this epidemic, you just get so passionate. Like just one stat that blows me away. When you look at disc fusions, our body is broken down, so we've got to fuse the discs together. Just the hard drive, without any medical or hospital, just the hard drive goes into the physical body with just one operation. Costs $2.5 billion. There's a lot of people making money, and there's a lot of people suffering. So,
it's time to change the sail of this ship.
That's it. Totally empower people, and so I hope
together we're better, brother.
Yeah, fantastic, Matt, and love you chatting to you, buddy, and stay in contact, and we'll catch you soon.
You too, mate. Thank you for joining me, guys. Thank you for joining us. This is Garry Little, and reach out to him if you or anyone that you know has pain or emotional or physical pain that they are looking to get rid of. Then Garry's your man. So reach out. Thanks for joining us. Have an awesome day. We've got a back-to-back daily B. So in another hour, we're going to have Lydia Sugarman on here. So stay tuned for that. But we'll see you guys soon. Garry, catch you very soon, brother. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, man.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.